Good day, everyone. It's something I just want to share or get your opinion about. I noticed in this recent world, when a woman or a man talks about, oh, my husband or my wife, and people around you gets angry, or they kind of rebuke you. Let us hear words. You are not the only one that has a husband or has a wife. In my own case, sometimes last week I was discussing with my team leader because my former job, I decide when I want to work. I decide the shift that I want to do. I decide the time I want to close. I decide the home I want to work. So literally I work as a bank staff, so I'm in charge of my shift. But now I've started a permanent job since December 2024, and so I don't have control over my shift anymore. Unlike before, I don't run night shift. I don't. If I want to run night shift, it will be that I decided, and I may not do more than once or twice in a month, or not at all. Or Sundays, literally, I don't like to work on Sundays. Reason being that my kids are still very young, and if you are outside of your home country, you need to bring your children very, very close to God, because otherwise, the reverse, in fact, or like they will say, is your case. And so on Sundays, I ensure I don't pick a shift. I go to church with my kids. So once in a while, maybe twice in a month, I could pick a shift on Sunday, but not on Sunday morning. It will be a shift that is starting around 3 p.m. So I will have finished from the church, get back home, prepare lunch for the kids, and then jump into the bus and go do the shift and come back. So it will literally be like a 5-hour shift. So it will start at 3 and finish at 8 or 8:30. Once in a while, maybe the shift will finish at 10. And so those are the kind of shifts I do on Sundays. If at all, I must work on Sundays, and it's once in a while. But in my present job, the contract says I must do every week. The condition of the job is that I will do one sleeping. Now, there has been a battle with my team lead. I've been telling her, yes, I can do a sleeping, but on the condition that it won't be the day that my husband is working, because we have young kids. We both can go out to work during the day. One person must be at home at every given time. So because of that, my husband switched his own shift to permanent night to enable me have the time to also work for during the day. But this my new rule demands that I also work one sleeping in a week. But it has been a challenge because in the month of January, one of my night shift happens to fall on the day my husband, in fact 2 fall on the days that my husband was on night shift, so he has to cancel his own shift. Meanwhile, the reason why they gave him permanent role is the fact that he's very consistent. He doesn't cancel shift. He's always around. He only cancels once in a blue moon, maybe when he's ill, and sometimes maybe once in a year. And so, if we now start giving them reason to be canceling shift today, tomorrow, next week, and so on, because my wife, the same reason he switched to night, it will not be to his own favor. So he looked at it that I wasn't being considerate, and in this country they think of children first, and so on and so forth. So I took this matter, I looked at it, and I reasoned with him that it's true, because I know this country, they don't joke with children, and any organization that hire you, they consider your children first. That's work-life balance, to be able to balance your work and able to balance the family aspect, and without neglecting your children. And so I went back to my team leader and I told her, this will not happen again, because I can't come and do a sleepover. I'm not even getting money for the sleepover. The money is rubbish. It's just something like my 2 days transportation on the train. And unlike him, I will go to work and earn over £100. So why do we have to be canceling shift? and we can't leave the children at home. And secondly, it's not to his own best interest to be cancelling his shift. It can't be a thing that is going to continue like that. And from my own part, my team leader was saying I should be swapping. Yes, it's okay to swap, but it's not favorable to me, because I did a swapping towards the end of January, and at the end of the day, I was in my place of work for wasted 9 hours unpaid, because I have to take a break for 7 hours because you're not allowed to finish a sleeping and do another sleeping. And because I have to do, the only person I could swap was the person that was taking over from me the next day. And I have to tell the person, no, I will do your sleeping. Why? But on the condition that I have to go on 7 hours break. And I can't go home and come back because it's quite a distance. It's far from my house. It's almost 2 hours. And so I have to just go to the communal room and just hang around for wasted 7 hours where I couldn't sleep, I couldn't stretch my leg, couldn't do nothing than just staring on my phone. And then the following morning, I must also take another 2 hours break because I took an extra shift the next day, which was going to be about 12 hours shift. So for me to be able to do that long day, I must embark on a 2 hours break. That's the only thing, the only way the organization can consider that I have done the right thing. So in a nutshell, I wasted 9 hours of no pay, no rest, no sleep. My sanity was tampered with. In fact, it was just a total mess, and I told myself I will never do a swap again. So in the condition, I called for a meeting and I mentioned so definitely it will still relate to my husband. The next day rebuked me. I bet make we hear word. No be only you get husband. No be only you get husband. We say get. Maybe this husband says some people they go and hire husband on the street. Although I learned it happened. You see some women, because this country is cold and it's kind of somehow, if you don't have a spouse with you, is very lonely and very not unpleasant. So some women who have the money, they just go and hire these women who doesn't have paper that are on the street, and they hire them, they keep them in their home as their partner. And so maybe you hire this one. I say yes, of course. I actually hired him. I just saw him on the street, and I hired him. But at least he's my husband. And so this thought brought me back to my last IES that I did in 2013. In my speaking IES, I have never scored below 8. I have never. I've never scored below 7.5. Yeah, it has always been either 7.5 or 8, 7.5 or 8 that I've scored, even as bad as my English is. So in my speaking, I've always scored so high. And then I remember the last one I did that in Benin City, 2013. It was a woman that interviewed me for that speaking and the IES. And well, I think the woman's the surname looks IME-EBUH, so it must be from IME-EBUH. Coincidentally, my husband is from the Rivers as well. And so there was a question he asked about family holiday. How do you have your full-time family and everything? And so at every point in time in explaining myself, I mentioned my husband, my family, my children, my husband, my family. And by about the third time I will mention, she got angry. You can use another language, don't use husband. At the end of that exam, guess what? That was the first time I scored 6.5 in my IES. It was the first time I scored 6.5. And my question is likely some women get offended or get angry because maybe they don't have a spouse and you are in their front every time you talk or one thing or the other. It's not that you do it intentionally. It's just conversation that leads to that, and you have to mention, oh, my husband. And for those of them who don't have husband, it gets angry. Probably because either there's crisis in their home or they don't even have any at all. And so I thought to share this on my platform to ask other fellow women or the public? What do you think? Why do other fellow women get threatened, get angry, get upset with you when you have to make sure? I think it's common with women. I don't think men go through all that. Men as they are, they no say na wuru than they. But women just really pick on things that doesn't really matter, then they will take it as a big deal. Why do other women just get angry at the fellow woman who mentioned my husband or has a husband, and when she mentioned that name? Do you also have that experience? Please share your thoughts with me. Thank you. Stay blessed. See you in my next video.